Commenters were saying something. You know, are you speaking about what the person brought up? Yeah, honey, my ladies and gentlemen, tell what my wife just did. Tell what my wife just did. My wife's in there watching some. I don't know what she's watching. She's watching some YouTube stuff, and her mind was just blown. Her mind was blown. What was her mind blown about? I'm imagining she's watching some. She's watching. I don't know if she's watching my. Are you watching? Hold on. Open door, honey, real before you leave. Are you watching my video or someone else's video? Somebody else's video. Okay, whose video? Huh? A lady, white lady, glasses. You watching Dawn Hill? My wife's over there watching Dawn Hill, y'all, and she brings up in the discussion about generational curses. My wife is so floored. She's so floored that she came in here while I was live streaming. This is what she said. She says, because my wife is, she's smart. My wife is a smart Christian. Hey, look how the camera did that. I pulled in close and it blurred me out in the background. She said, Matthew 7 has nothing to do, and she put in all caps, by the way. The moderators would be upset. She put in all caps, nothing to do with generational curses. Let me tell you why that's interesting. Because a lot of people will throw these passages out, and people, okay, yeah, read this and read that and read that, knowing full well most people won't go back and read it. Now, my wife, she went back and she read it, and what is her response? Matthew 7 has nothing to do with generational curses. They will do that. That's why in the discussion, someone said, my buddy from prison said, hold on, Corey, you're going to have people in the church. Say, hold on, pastor. That's not what that said. You should say that. If your pastor gets up and says something that's that far out of line, like this, if your pastor says this, hold on, pastor. Now, I'm not saying get up in the middle of church, but go to that pastor. Why is that a bad thing? We should go if our pastor says something that is out of line or doesn't compute. Hey, wait a second, pastor. You said this. You said, if I can get this camera act right, come on, camera. I just sung your praises. Matthew 7 says or has nothing to do with generational curse. Pastor, can you make that clear? Can you fix that? Oh, okay. She's my wife's giving me these little notes. So fix that, pastor. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing at all. To go and ask your pastor, wait a second. Maybe pastors have forgotten this. You are a shepherd of sheep. And so if I cannot come to you and ask you to fix it, because, hey, pastor, I might be wrong. So, pastor, how in the world does Matthew 7, what does it have to do with generational curses? Could you please tell me what in the world? Let's go to Matthew 7. Doggone it, Matthew 7. By the way, it was brought up for another reason with me. Matthew 7 was brought up for another reason with me. He says, because I look at everything, I call good fruits bad fruits. You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs or from thistles. So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. Corey, now this was in response to me asking a question. Give me a New Testament, give me a text, a passage that speaks about generational curses. He went to that passage. That's a stupid passage for him to go to. The passage isn't stupid. It was stupid of him to go to it. I'm not calling your good fruits bad. But what you do is you call the bad good, because previously to that, what does he say? Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Now, for sake of time, all you did was prove my point. You are a false teacher. You look like sheep. How do false teachers look? Let me put you guys on the screen. I want to ask you guys a question. What do false teachers look like? What do false prophets, false teachers look like? What do they sound like? Do they ring a loud bell and say, hey, false teacher here, false prophet here, wolf here? Do they do that? No, they literally look like the rest. That's why Jesus says, but inwardly, they have these sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. When Jude says to contend for the faith, let's look what he says. Let's go to Jude 3. Jude 3. He said, I wanted to write to you about this common salvation. I want to just talk about Bibles, about salvation, about how good it is to be a Christian, or as Ruslan puts it, a net positive discussion. I wanted to do that, Jude saying. I wanted to write you about our common salvation. But I felt the necessity to write you, appealing to you that you contend earnestly. That you contend. Look below, ladies and gentlemen, look below me and look at what the word says. This is to struggle. This is a present middle infinitive. Now, let's break down what a present middle infinitive is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is good stuff. This goes back, by the way, to the earlier question about calling some of these things out. A present tense means this is kind of right now. It doesn't necessarily refer to it being continuous. It could be aspectually flat, which means there's no aspect, there's no time to it. We don't know how long. It could be right now for the moment or constantly. But here's how we know this is continuous. There's a reason why we know this is continuous in just a second. But middle. Do y'all know what the middle voice is? Middle voice, you have active, active, passive, and middle. Obviously, active is you doing it to you are the one that's doing it. Passive is it's being done to you. Middle, there's some nuances with middle. Middle is someone or you doing it for the benefit of yourself. For example, here's a classic example. I raise my hand. I would use the middle because my hand is being raised, but it's me doing it for who? For the benefit of myself. And then we see that this is an infinitive. So it's kind of like the state of this, a state of being. So this is what I need you to be doing all the time. Okay? So I wrote you to appealing you that you contend earnestly. Now, the word earnestly isn't there, but it's kind of embedded in there because this is a struggle to be doing this for the faith which was once for all handed down to the saints. Why? Look what he says. For certain persons have crept in unnoticed. How does a person come in unnoticed? They look like everybody else. They look like everybody else. Now, God's not confused because he says these people were long before marked out for this condemnation. Ungodly persons who turn the grace of our God into a licentiousness and deny our only master and Lord, Jesus Christ. I'll come to this later about how they do so, but some of the well-meaning people in the body, I want you all to hear me this. Some of the well-meaning people in the body who only want good things. Let's get along. This is going to cause division. Some of those folks, and I agree, some of those folks are well-meaning, are actually going to be the ones who are going to cause the most harm in the body. These are the kind of people that would see a crime happening on the street and say, keep walking, don't look at him. Keep walking, don't look at it. Don't tell him. That's what happens. What happens in communities where people don't snitch? When people don't tell. I said, hey, honey, I want to live where there's a Karen at every other house. I want nosy neighbors. I want neighbors that look out on the street and see what's happening and got a problem. I don't care if it's Goofy Bob that walks out, hey, guys, what's going on right there? Why are you guys robbing this old person right here? Why are you guys breaking into this house? Now, I want some of those folks to probably have a shotgun, too. There's a guy down in Houston who, and that's the correct term, Mama Bates, enabling. You enable them. There's a guy down in Houston who saw someone robbing someone's house. Nope, bam, you got to go. And they did not arrest him because by law in Texas, you can use deadly force to stop someone in the commission of a property crime, whether it's yours or your neighbor's or someone else's. You can do that. We used to have those back in the day. We used to have concerned citizens. We used to even have the term citizens arrest. Thank you, Charmy. Just like Barney Fife in not Barney Fife. What's the guy's name? Gomer Pyle. Was it Gomer Pyle? Yeah, Gomer Pyle. Citizens arrest. Citizens arrest. We had folks that would want to be good neighbors, but good citizens. Not Christians today. No, let it go. Ain't my business. This is where those are kind of Christians. You know what? Please do us a favor. Leave your assigned pew and go sit in the back. I want the people that are more concerned about the cause of Christ to be up to the front. That's what I want. That's why those are written there. Yeah, but he looks like, he sounds like, he smells like, I know this person personally. I've been to his house and so forth. Didn't Mike Brown and Sam Storm say the same thing about Mike Bickle? One of his children, my godparent, my godson, or something like that, something along those lines. But the guy was a wolf, and guess what? We didn't have to know him personally to know that. You were too close to see that. You couldn't see the trees for the forest. You were too close and didn't see it. So therefore, you must go out and fight. I don't mean fight for the sake of slaying folks, but fight for the cause of Christ. And obviously, hopefully, in hopes that the person that you're speaking of will come back around. Corey, you call that guy a wolf. I hope I'm wrong. I hope to God that I'm wrong about calling him a false teacher and a wolf. Well, not a false teacher, he is, but a wolf. I hope to God I'm wrong about saying that he's not saved. Hope to God I'm wrong. So do better with your doctrine. That's all. You want to be treated better, then just do better. Amen.